Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. It is WrestleMania week. It is our Super Bowl. It is our Christmas. It is our New Year's. It is that time of year. It's all wrapped into one. And if you can't tell, we are over the moon excited here at Squared Circle Radio. Welcome to our live show directly after Monday Night Raw. If you're watching the replay, that's no problem. Interact with us on social media. Drop your comments and your questions. We'll get to all of those. I'm your phenomenal host, Mr. Podcasting, Chris Belcher. It's the triple threat tonight. You know, I said last week that we defend these tag titles in the Freebird rules. You never know which combination of us you're going to get. But when you get the three of us, it's incredibly lethal. The young buck, Mr. Andy York, is here. My brother from another mother, Jared Justice, is here. Andy, it's WrestleMania week. What a show we have, not just tonight, but all week long.
Yeah, tonight was the kickoff to WrestleMania week. Basically, if you like professional wrestling, I think like every day this week, there's something on that you can watch, whether it's in WWE or outside of WWE. Until next Monday. So like it's literally a week of nothing but wrestling, which is why it's my favorite week of the year. So I'm looking forward to it.
And that also includes Squared Circle Radio. We will drop new content every single day from today until next Monday, every day. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like the video. It helps the algorithm. Jared, if they're new to the show, it's a great time to hop on because we're going to give you some new school, old school, everything in between. There's something for everybody.
That's right, dude. You can be just like my buddy Brad. Doesn't matter if you're in Tokyo. Doesn't matter if you're in Canada. You tune into this show.
That's exactly right. Tokyo, Canada, all around the world, in the good old Gulf of America, if you want to be tuning into the show. We appreciate you so very much. No, we're not going to get political. We're just having fun. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's have some fun tonight. The end of the show, at the end of Monday Night Raw, rather, the triple threat that will headline night number one of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, of course, Paul Heyman at the center of all this. They were all under one roof for one last time, I presume, tonight on Monday Night Raw. Andy, I'll start with you. Jared, you jump in when he gets done. Just the aura of all four of them in the ring and the storytelling of this main event. I am bought in hook, line, and sinker, man. This is so good. I can't wait for this match.
Yeah, I'm completely there with you. I think all three of us, before everything kind of got announced and we could kind of see where we were going, all three of us were a little apprehensive about this because I think a lot of us would prefer the one-on-one. But then you get these three guys together heading into WrestleMania, the story that they're telling. Every single week I have loved everything that has happened. They have built this really well. I love where we've gotten with Jay and Gunther, and I think that potentially could have main evented, but other than that, this is the only other night one main event is the three biggest names besides John Cena and Cody Rhodes, the three biggest names in the company in one match. How can you not end the night with this one?
I can't wait, boys, and especially you throw Paul Heyman in there. Don't know where he's going to be, what he's going to do. I thought the little old Paulrus was going to get the spear. I mean, I thought he was going down for the count.
Did you notice, Jared, how when Roman went to shove him down, you could tell he took a little force off of that pie face to push him down.
Didn't want to kill him.
I know.
Man has hips. We can't fracture those hips.
No. But Jared, you and I were watching Monday Night Raw actually together in this live stream before we started, and we were reacting to this. And man, I want to see. Andy and I speculated last week, so you can weigh in on this as well. Like who needs this win most? But man, coming into this match and then after this match, no matter what the result is, I love that Roman Reigns is. Hate to use this term, but it's the only one I can think of. Growing up before our very eyes and really being comfortable in his own skin, knowing that he can be on his own and everybody's betraying him. And that's okay because now win or lose, we could see this incredibly dominant side of Roman Reigns as a good guy.
Dude, this is character development at its finest. And what's so beautiful about it is since we don't have Vinnie Mac in there, you don't have to be strictly babyface. You don't have to be strictly heel. You can be a tweener. I mean, most people that you encounter in everyday life, man, they're not just all bad. They're not just all good. Everybody has shades of gray. And I mean, Roman's the same way, and all these wrestlers are, but we're really seeing that with Roman right now, and I love it.
Yeah, it's seeing where he's at now makes me even more mad about where he was pre-pandemic. Like, why have we not had this version of Roman this entire time? Because I would say this version of Roman is very similar to the Shield Roman and kind of where he was as this powerhouse threat of a man that, you know, you could just see his name was going to be in the lights because of how he looked and how well he was and all this other stuff. And if we'd have got like progression earlier, there's no telling where he's at, but to see where he is at now is unbelievable. I mean, the guy has gone from being the most hated man in wrestling to everybody loves him. Like whether you're not the biggest Roman fan in the world, I can look at him and go, yeah, he gets it now. He is what he should be where everybody wins.
Yeah, Jared, that's the word, respect right there.
I love it too, because just like Andy was saying, what would have happened if we would have had a younger Roman and we would have got this development earlier on? And not to take us off track, I just want to say this one thing. One of my favorites right now is Braun Breaker. I love watching this guy, and I hope that they do with him what they could have done with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's untelling, really, like what we could have gotten with Roman. Because, like, imagine if we would have gotten this. I want to say carbon copy of the Tribal Chief, but some sort of standing on his own type Roman Reigns, you know, in 2014, 2015. We don't get him getting booed out of the building at the Royal Rumble. We don't get Triple H trying to be the one to put him over at the end of WrestleMania 32. We don't get him getting booed out of the ring when he beats the Undertaker. All of those types of things. Instead, we get a fan favorite. And then I hate to bring this up, Andy, but think about the leukemia situation. And the people rallied behind him at that point. Imagine what the support would have been, because it seems like when he came back, people were behind him, but it was almost like we feel like we have to. If that hadn't been the case and he already would have been a fan favorite, could you imagine where he would be today?
Yeah, you know, and going, because I went back and watched kind of that. Was it 35 was his first match back, or his first
true.
Mania back against Drew and everything else? And he got a pop when he came out, but then he was the exact same Roman Reigns when he left. And all of us, like, instantly you could hear the crowd start to just switch back to their old, like, oh, we're getting this again. Like, why are we getting this same version that we have hated for so long? Yep. Yeah, like, I wish, like you said, not a carbon copy, but if we'd have let him just be him this entire time, there's no telling how much bigger of a star he would be. Not saying that he's not a star right now, obviously, because he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest names in the company. But to see where he could have been just makes those early few years just so frustrating to go back and watch. We went back, a couple days ago, I went back and showed Katie the promo between Cena and him going into their match at, was it Payback or something like that, where he just completely, like, the crowd got to him, he messed up his lines, he forgot everything, and Cena just obliterated him.
Yep.
And to go from that to what we got tonight is a night and day difference.
People missed him, dude. Like, that was the thing, is we missed him. We liked the potential that we saw in him, but Vince just would not let him be. Wouldn't let him be himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, Jared. Andy and I, again, like we said, we waited on this last week. Who needs this win more? Obviously, Roman is a huge star, but there are two other huge stars in this match. CM Punk in his first ever WrestleMania main event, his first WrestleMania match since WrestleMania 29. You have Seth Rollins, who main evented night one last year, defended the world title on night two, has main evented a couple of times before that, and is really, as he says, he's the one doing the right thing here for the company, for to save wrestling, because everybody else is going to let the business die. So, Jared, as we get ready to move on here, we're not going to make predictions tonight. Make sure you stay tuned into the channel because we're going to make those predictions later this week. So stay tuned into the channel. But Jared, who needs this win the most? Is it Roman? Is it Punk? Is it Seth? What do you think?
I mean, the answer that everybody I think will say is Seth, just because he is such a good wrestler. I mean, he can do all these things that most wrestlers just wish they could do. But his win-loss record and even like his title reigns, they just don't amount to what they should be, in my opinion. Now, was some of that due to Vince McMahon's booking? Maybe Vince. I mean, I think Vince tried to see him as the guy, but I feel like he lost faith in that pretty quick. So, I mean, I would say Seth would be the no-brainer answer.
Yeah, I think, Andy, as we said it last week, like Punk could recover from this and it's fine. Roman can just be off TV for a couple months and just come back in a fit of rage. And Seth is really the torchbearer, as he keeps saying, like all these wrestling characters, whether they are heels or baby faces now, as you guys alluded to, Andy, they're telling the truth. And Seth is laying it all out there for us, man. And he tell me when he's telling lies, you know?
Yeah. I completely agree. And I think we even said it last week, and this is not like a dig at Seth or anything, because I mean, you know how big of a fan I am of Seth, and I know you guys are too. But the stakes are not high enough right now for a guy like Punk or Roman to need the win. Meaning, like, if there was a world title shot on the line, or if there was something in the future on the line, then that's something different. But we talked about last week, like, we could see Punk losing night one of WrestleMania, come out the next night or the Raw after, and whether it's Gunther or Jay, challenge for the world title, and I don't think anybody would bat an eye. I think it's weird. Like, I think it's totally fine if that was the case. I think Seth's the guy that needs it the most right now. We said it last week. I completely agree. I think he still needs it, but what he is doing each week, especially the last 2 weeks, is proving that he belongs in the category and in the same ring as guys as Roman and as Punk. And that's very, very important.
Yeah, it definitely is, for sure. My brother Bryce is in the chat with us saying he's going Seth. He's picking Seth to win this one. Again, we're going to make our predictions later on this week on the channel. If you are new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video. It helps the algorithm. Interact in the comments with us. We'll try to get to as many of those comments and questions as we can. But again, we're dropping brand new content all week long. So make sure that you guys are locked into the channel. All right, Jared, our buddy Brad is in the chat. Where does Paul end up after the match? Oh, I said I wasn't going to make you make a prediction, but Brad's in the chat and Brad wants a prediction. Andy, I'm putting you on the spot first, man. If you have to lean right now one way or the other, what happens with Paul?
I don't know. Probably I would lean more towards him walking out with Punk than anybody else. Okay. Whether that doesn't necessarily mean Punk gets the win, but maybe something happens with Roman in the match, and obviously Seth is doing his thing. And post-Mania, I could see Paul and Punk kind of realigning together and going forward. So that's probably where I would lean right now. But again, I'm not shocked if he walks out with all three of them. I'm not shocked if he gets hit with a spear or a stomp or even a GTS at this point. Like, I don't, anything is possible when it comes to him.
Jared, what do you think?
I think he walks out alone. I think that somehow with this whole Seth situation, something is going to happen to where he kind of, sort of helps Seth, whether he means to, whether we know that he means to or not. And he turns his little fat hind end around and he waddles right back, and then the match ends. I think that at some point soon he goes back to Roman, but I think he's highly likely he's walking out of Mania alone.
I don't think he walks out at all. Meaning, I'm not saying that anybody lays him out. What I'm saying is he tries to leave with the winner, but the winner says no and just leaves Heyman either in the ring or on the floor sitting up by the announce table, or Heyman is begging, like he begged Punk in Chicago, take me with you. He's begging the winner, take me with you, and the winner is having none of it. Whoever the winner is, because I could see a situation. Obviously, we saw Roman just leave him tonight. Seth, you could see him just dangling a carrot. Okay, I've got one over on you, but I'll come cash it in whenever. You could honestly see Punk, I think, even though that's his best friend, coming to the realization of this favor is going to get somebody killed. This favor is really not good for any of us. So, Paul, it's best if you and I are friends, but we just part ways. And so I think it could be a situation where Heyman's off TV for 6 months. Now, as you guys said, he realigns with Roman in 6 months. Okay, nobody's going to be upset by that. But I think it's possible he's just by himself. I don't know.
I think he has to get back together with Roman to somehow finish this bloodline deal. But I'm telling you, man, I just have this feeling he's walking out and he's saying, to heck with all three of you. I'm leaving.
Yep. I think he's by himself as well. All right. We'll see. Again, predictions coming later this week on the channel. Make sure that you are locked in. All right. The other main event, the night 2 main event for the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes and John Cena, this dream match that we have been waiting on since Cody Rhodes left the company the first time, coming back. Cody is the champion, Cena going for number 17, but as a heel. Again, real quick, we're going to predict this match later. Yes, Jared's got the hat. We know who he is supporting. But Jared, you have the hat. You have 2 hats now. You have the shirt. Are you still as excited for this match? Even though we haven't seen Cena in a couple of weeks, we saw a couple of promos back and forth, only 1 round of physicality. Are you still as excited for this match as you once were?
I think they heated up on Friday. Just like me and you were talking, man, I told you I really wasn't impressed with Raw. And that was before the stuff with like Punk and everybody happened. I think and I hope, man, that something happens on Friday that makes me say, I have to see this. So, I mean, that's what I'm hoping, man. I want to be excited.
I'm excited for it, but it's gone the reverse of Jay and Gunther in a lot of ways. Of like, Jay and Gunther dragged on for the beginning, and then like towards the end has gotten excited. This was like, yeah, we were all pumped when Cena showed up for that first Raw and everything else, and now we literally have got nothing like the last 2 weeks to build this even more. I agree. I think something crazy is going to happen on Friday, whether it's, maybe Rock's music hits and Rock comes out and does something. Maybe Cena gets left in a bloody pulp. Maybe Travis Scott is made the guest referee for this match. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do think they're going to do something to bring that excitement level back. Because if there's 2 guys that could, with less than 48 hours, build excitement to their match, it's John Cena and Cody Rhodes. So I think they're going to do something to heat it up.
I think what is exciting me about this match is seeing all of these, again, it's rumor and innuendo. We don't know for sure, but all these dates that are coming out that Cena is going to do post WrestleMania, and knowing that this thing's not over. Like, yes, they're going to WrestleMania, but we're going past WrestleMania. So it should be really interesting post WrestleMania how this goes. Again, we're going to break it all down for you later this week, but I'm excited for the match. And again, as you guys have pointed out, for Friday, I think it's going to be really good as well. All right. Another thing that we're just not sure what's going to happen yet, we're skeptical on, we're hopeful on, is Randy Orton. Last week, we got the unfortunate news that Kevin Owens is not going to be part of WrestleMania this year, leaving Randy Orton without an opponent. Andy, you and I speculated a little bit on this last week, threw out some names. Any clarity in your brain and your thoughts as to what they could do? Obviously, strong hints of Nick Aldis. What are your thoughts here?
I'm really hoping they don't go the route that they looked like they were going Friday night with Solo Sikoa. That's not a great bounce back. I wouldn't be shocked though if the U.S. title match gets turned into a fatal 4-way and we add Solo and we add Randy to it. And so we get LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Randy Orton, and Solo for the U.S. title. I think they made it too obvious for it to be all this. Like, I think they kind of played that up a lot because that's not going to be what it is. But I'm still holding out hope that it could be an open challenge and we get a Malachi Black or an Aleister Black or a Rusev or, I don't know if you saw, but like Jeff Cobb just up and quit New Japan today or something like that.
Apparently, yeah.
Maybe we get a Jeff Cobb versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. But I think we're going to get something big. He's either going to be added to the Fatal 4-Way or it's just going to be an open challenge.
I don't think enough people know who Jeff Cobb is. It's going to be him.
I know. I agree. Yeah.
I'm going to Aleister Black. I think that's the most likely thing that we're going to see. Miro, maybe. If I had a second guess, that'd be it. Rusev, whatever you want to call him. But I definitely think that Aleister Black is coming back soon, and I think it's going to be as soon as this weekend.
Are there any other matches that you're like excited for on either night that you're the most looking forward to?
So refresh me because I really wasn't interested in all the women match that was going on, like with Liv. Who is in that match for that championship?
So it's Liv and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra.
Okay. I am excited for that match. I thought that Liv's match was probably one of the better matches, if not the best match that was on Raw tonight. I mean, they went out there and they put on a show, man. I loved it. So I am excited for that match now. I do want to see Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte. I mean, those are just the ones that are popping off the top of my head. I think they've done a great build of the big matches, but the undercard matches, they haven't done a whole lot to the point that I can't tell you a lot of them. I mean, you would have to list them off for me to choose from at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've done a great job with the top of the card, and then they're expecting just the middle of the card to be so good that we don't care about the build. We just watch what's going on. I will say, I think one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most that I didn't think I would is Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. They've done a good job of building that one back up. With I think Damian put Drew through the car windshield and actually got glass in his eye, and he had to have repair done on it or something. And now it's going to be
glass, man.
Which was great because Punk walked right by as soon as right after it happened. They couldn't have done that any better.
Oh man,
but then
people in AEW were like, "What the crap?" Was that planned?
Tony Khan probably feared for his life again, just getting flashbacks.
You're thinking that bastard Punk. You know they are.
I bet. They've turned it into a Sin City street fight, so we're gonna get just chaos in it, which I think is the best way when you got two massive dudes like Drew and like Damian. Just put them in there, put a bunch of weapons out there, and just let them beat the crap out of each other for 20 minutes. I think that's the best case for them. And I'm also I think it's going to be the shortest match of the night. I think it's going to be less than 5 minutes, but I'm excited for Jade and Naomi. I think they're going to do a good job. I think Jade's just going to run through her, and it's just going to be a powerhouse. But I do think that she is going to really they're going to establish her because I think we're heading towards that Bianca feud sooner rather than later, probably at SummerSlam.
I love Drew's character, man. He was becoming one of my favorites. Damian, I thought, was really moving up, and then something just cooled off with that.
Yeah.
I am interested to see. I hope Drew wins, or if he's not going to win, that they really use this to elevate Damian, and they do something with him. I mean, that's what I hope for.
Yeah. I mean, if Damian wins, I could see him be like one of the first challengers for the heel John Cena as a world champ, and just kind of let them go at it back and forth. Probably just a one-off, but it's a good way to at least get him. If you're trying to build him up, I mean, why not put him in there with John Cena and let them go back and forth and go at it for a while? I think that's a good way to go with it. What's your, because we're talking about excitement levels for WrestleMania. Has the last couple of weeks built your excitement more for Jane Gunther as we've gotten closer to it?
Oh man, tonight I thought it really heated up. I loved it, dude. I mean, that's one of those matches for this that's kind of been up and down. It's like, oh, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it, and the excitement's gone, and we're back. But after tonight, I mean, I guess this is probably going to be the last appearance for both guys. I highly doubt they show up on SmackDown. So they did a lot tonight, and then of course the beatdown on Jimmy. That's what led into tonight to make me as excited as I currently am for that match.
Yeah. Do you think we get the patented Jimmy in a hoodie showing up at during the match and super kicking Gunther in the middle of it?
Man, I hope not. I mean, let's do something. How many times can you do this? It's like you have these Samoans and these Tongans, and they think they're like going incognito. And as soon as you see somebody in the hoodie, you're like, okay, it's a Samoan or it's a Tongan. It has to be. So they've about wore that out.
To be fair, it's a lot easier to hide Jimmy than it is Solo. Solo sticks out a lot more than Jimmy does in a hoodie.
Very true. Very true.
Sorry about that, y'all. I'm back. All right. Refresh me on where we're at here. Sorry, I had to take a pause for the cause.
We're just discussing excitement levels for different matches coming up at Mania. We were just talking about Jay and his match, and Andy had asked if I was excited for it, and I said it's been one of those things that's been up and down, man. Like I'm really excited, then I'm not, then I'm really excited. But with the beatdown of Jimmy, then I really think that tonight kind of parlayed into that and made me excited to see it, man, on Mania. I'm pretty pumped.
Let me tell you one I am low-key excited about. And I wasn't excited about this at all when it seemed like we were headed this direction. And that is this Sin City street fight that we have got going on between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Arguably, Drew McIntyre, the superstar of the year last year. Damian Priest with his first world title win. Guys, I think this one is actually going to be really, really good. And I think that's a huge credit to Drew and how Priest has grown up over the last year or so, out on his own without Judgment Day. Jared, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, me and Andy were talking about that a little bit, and we had decided that it was probably going to be like an awesome match that both guys go out there and have. And I love Drew's character, and I hope that this match does something for him, just to keep him going.
Yeah, and on the flip side of it, I think if Damian does get the win, and you're trying to build him up, I think he's a great first opponent for a heel John Cena as world champ. Just put them in there together. You know he's probably not going to win, but if you're trying to build him up, I mean, why not stick him out there with Cena? You know he's going to do better than Austin Theory did with it. So put him out there and let them go at it.
All right, let's go one more match here. One that I'm not really excited about. And I want to get your all's take on this. Andy, we speculated last week that this match would not stay one-on-one. And obviously there was a lot that happened at the end of SmackDown. I'm talking about LA Knight and Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Andy, again, any more thoughts on should they add anybody to this match? Is this weird? Like, I'm not excited for this for the simple fact that it seems like they just put the U.S. title on LA Knight just to drop it to Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I think you could add people to it, but I think the outcome's still the same. So why not just have him go out there and just kill LA Knight? I mean that's basically what I think might end up happening is Jacob Fatu just goes out there and absolutely runs through LA Knight for a US title. I don't hate it. I think it's a great way to do it. I think they've done a great job of building Jacob up, and it's kind of hard not to put a mid-card title on him right now without killing some of the momentum that you have built, especially if we're still. I mean, I'm surprised we're not doing Jacob and Solo. I think that was like right there. That may be what they're building to for like SummerSlam, maybe for the U.S. title.
I hope not SummerSlam. Like that is so, Jared. That is so far off just for Jacob to kill Solo, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only outcome here, though, I know we're not really going predictions so much, but I think that you have to do Jacob and make him come off strong, no matter how you do it. I do think that he is going to have to run through Solo at some point, but then I think the goal is really to get him and Roman in the ring. So I mean that would be my guess.
But Andy, you said Priest being a perfect opponent for John Cena, buddy. If LA Knight drops the United States Championship, you better believe John Cena and LA Knight for the World Championship is happening.
Oh yeah, and I will be front row for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think the promo battles between
front
these
row
guys
seats are pretty expensive right now, Andy. I don't know about all
listen. I'll not for the match. I'll go for the promos. I go
okay.
The promos each week. But yeah, that would be a great outcome, and it would be like about time for LA Knight to get his singles main event push. Like I know he did something with Roman, and he was in that Fatal 4-Way at the Rumble a couple years ago, but he was like the most popular guy 2 years ago, and they did absolutely nothing with him. Now is the time to start to build him back up.
Yep.
I'm starting right now the LA Knight as Mr. Money in the Bank train right now. Like I'm pushing that agenda as far as I can, because he would be a perfect candidate for something like that, or should be in the main event level, but he's not.
I agree. They had something with LA Knight, but all the returns of different wrestlers, especially Punk, I think just kind of derailed that, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you get it back on track, but I still think they have that lightning that they can catch with him. It's just, how do we get there?
Yep. Yeah, they definitely have to get there for sure. I don't think losing the U.S. title is going to help, but they could definitely figure out a way to do it. All right. Again, if you're watching us live, we appreciate it so very much. Drop your comments, drop your questions. We will take all of them live. That's right down below the video. Most importantly, hit the subscribe button. It does not cost you a thing. Doesn't sign you up for an email list or anything like that. It just helps support the show in the best way possible. The only way that we grow this show is to grow our subscribers and grow our viewer count. So once you subscribe, go tell a friend, make them subscribe, tell 5 more friends, make them subscribe. Again, guys, it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to cost you anything. All right. Like the video. It helps the algorithm, helps us get in more people's feeds and all that kind of stuff. We would appreciate that so very much. All right. As we get ready to wrap up tonight's live show, we teased this segment last week. I told you we were going to do it. Tonight is the night. Who is Mr. WrestleMania? We all know that Shawn Michaels has the moniker, but one could make a strong argument, and I have a feeling somebody on this podcast is going to make the strong argument that the Undertaker could be the true Mr. WrestleMania. So right now, between the three of us, we are going to settle this debate once and for all. Before we break down Shawn and Taker, Jared, is there any other wrestler? Because I think we can all three agree that Shawn and Taker are clearly the two candidates for the title of Mr. WrestleMania. Is there anybody else you can think of that could even get close to this conversation, Jared?
You could go Hogan, you could go Roman. And the reason why that I say those two is just because they've main evented so many of the friggin' things. Outside of that, I don't think there's much of a case for just about anybody.
Andy, anybody else you can think of?
I think if we're talking about WrestleMania as a whole, I would agree that there's nobody else. I think if we were talking about like WrestleMania main events, I think Austin has to be in that conversation just because of the work that he did in the main event, specifically every year that he was in it. But even then, I still think it all always comes back and comes down to Shawn and Taker.
It does. And I think one of the reasons that it comes down to Shawn and Taker is not just the matches that they had on their own, but the matches they had together. Guys, 25 and 26 was just pure magic. But let's take those away. Andy, I'm going to throw to you first because I know what your answer is going to be here. As you look back at all of their WrestleMania opponents, Undertaker had 25 WrestleMania matches. Shawn Michaels had, north of 20, I'm pretty sure as well. Shawn had 17. My bad. I have my notes. Of all of those matches, who do you think outside of each other, Andy, were each of their best opponents?
Oh, wow. The easy answer, and the answer is staring us in the face, is Triple H.
Of course. For Taker, yes.
Yeah, I would put, because I think the whole story and build to 29 with Punk was really good. Man, the whole run that he had from like Batista to Punk was just ridiculous. Like each one of those matches were just top notch. But if I had to like pick somebody from his entire run that was his best opponent outside of Shawn, I think it's Hunter. I think it has to be Hunter.
Jared, what about Shawn? If you're looking at Shawn, who do you think his best opponent outside of Taker is at WrestleMania?
If I'm not mistaken, he wrestled Kurt Angle, didn't he? I'm going Kurt Angle. The Machine. Going with him, boys.
Chris Jericho is a low-key one at WrestleMania 19. And then, honestly, guys, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. John Cena at WrestleMania 23 was pretty freaking good match, So, again, I think we can all agree that these two are each other's best. But outside of that, you look at all the great talent. Andy, you mentioned the run that Taker went on from WrestleMania 20. What was it, 22 or 23? 23,
I think. I think that was the Batista one was 23, because I think 22 was Mark Henry.
Yeah, 23. Yes, you are correct. 23 to 29. And then Shawn Michaels, you can just start at WrestleMania 10. I only don't count 9, Jared, because it was a count out finish against Tatanka. So maybe start WrestleMania 10. And then you go all the way up. And it's like the dude couldn't have a bad match.
You're not counting Tatanka? How are you not counting Tatanka?
It was a count out finish. Okay. All right. So let's look back at it. Let's look back at each of these guys and maybe some of the not so good matches they had. Jared, when you think about Undertaker and some of his not so good matches, who comes to mind?
Undertaker and not so good matches. Was he against Mark Henry?
He was against Mark Henry in a casket match. Yep.
That would be the one, man.
I think about the I don't know, he wrestled King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 11. That's not great.
The Giant Gonzalez one was horrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't he win by chloroform?
Yeah, yes, he won by disqualification of chloroform. Yes, that is correct.
Awful.
Let's not forget, Jared, the Attitude Era Hell in a Cell debacle at WrestleMania 15 with the Big Boss Man.
You go from a human egg to a woolly mammoth and then to a police officer who's clearly too fat to be such a thing.
And you hang him.
And you hang him on national TV. You hang the man.
Not to mention, Andy, WrestleMania 19, The Undertaker technically was supposed to be in a tag team match with Nathan Jones against the Big Show and A-Train. And they took Nathan Jones out because apparently he wasn't ready enough. And then he did a random run in at the end of the match. And Taker's in the middle of all this debacle.
I've smelled farts that were better than that match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we have established that the Undertaker has had several bad WrestleMania matches. Where are Shawn Michaels' bad WrestleMania matches? And I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I'm just saying, where are his bad matches?
Austin
was bad.
Shawn was hurt.
Yep.
That was the reason. It's not the excuse.
Yep.
Shawn had a bad back, and through the whole thing, man, you could just see him holding his back like, oh my gosh, how much longer is this going to go? Even from like 2 or 3 minutes in.
Okay.
Don't stone me. But the Iron Man match with Brett.
Oh, stop it.
It's so boring. It's so boring.
I loved it, dude.
It's so
I truly
boring.
loved it.
So good. It's so good. No, it is.
Why
so
on the first Iron Man match would you go 1-0? Like why? Whose idea was that?
Pat Patterson, the greatest finish man of all time. That's whose idea it was.
No.
Andy, yeah, that's ridiculous. That's a fantastic match.
That's my one that I'm like I've watched it once and have no desire to watch it again.
Oh my gosh, you're
So
insane.
that's what wrestling. That match was what wrestling was for many years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the definition of it. I mean, AEW does that. They just have all kinds of flippy floppy moves now, but it still goes for friggin' ever.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think the whole thing, like, I don't know. I know like you're gonna have rest holds and you're gonna have stuff. It was just for Shawn and for Brett to be in the ring together, it felt very slow. and I get it, it's an hour, but it just felt like it was longer than an hour in some parts.
And those guys were very conditioned to be able to do the match. I think they probably overcorrected because that match had never been done before. And it was probably designed to be a slow pace and to try to have everybody hang on every move, especially in the last couple of minutes. And Shawn being in the sharpshooter for the last 36 seconds of the match. Yes, 36. So just those things, like I feel like it was designed that way. My bad match that I'm looking at Shawn, and I don't even think it's that bad. Guys, he had a street fight with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania, and he made him look really, really good. That's the one that I'm picking out, but even if that was really, really good.
I loved it.
I like this.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm setting all this up in a particular way because, like, look, you could argue that the Undertaker, his matches with Kane at WrestleMania were good. Okay. And then his match with Randy Orton was good at 21. And then really the stretch from 23 to 29 was great. And then, you had the couple sprinkled in after that with Cena and with AJ and with Brock
Shane.
and Bray Wyatt and all that kind of, Shane and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But Shawn's stretch is just like every year it's banger after banger. So again, I'm setting this up in a way to where is the argument that Shawn Michaels is not Mr. WrestleMania? Andy, I'll start with you. We've listed all the bad matches of The Undertaker, and we're all having a really hard time finding the bad matches of Shawn Michaels. And I'm having trouble to see where the argument is.
For me, it comes from the streak. Like even through Taker's bad matches, the next year you're like, yeah, but that streak's still alive. Like that streak is still moving and still going. And I think that's like, I know he's had some bad matches, and I know a lot of it is not Taker's fault because the people that they had him in there with, especially during his early run, were just not great. And then from 23 to 29, even I know 30 is what it is, but it wasn't a bad match. Like it wasn't horrible. Everybody just remembers the result and then loses their mind about it. But I think that stretch from 23 to 29 is better than anybody else. I think he had the best matches each and every WrestleMania from 23 to 29.
Who was in two of those matches?
Two of them, but not all of them.
The two
best matches.
The two best.
Did Shawn win?
Who lost both of them? Who lost both of them?
I'm talking total. How many matches did Shawn win?
That's true.
How many matches did Shawn win? He was 6-11 at WrestleMania.
Ooh. Okay.
But
argument done.
No, not argument done. Quality over quantity. Jared, go ahead.
Taker's my favorite of all time, dude. And I didn't even mean for that to happen. And what I mean by that is I loved Stone Cold back in the day. I mean, I was a Stone Cold guy. But just Undertaker, like Andy said, the only reason that Taker had stinkers was because at the time he was doing the dead man gimmick and he moved very slow. So you put him in there with guys who were also slow, which were most of the big guys, the big giants, Bundy, and then you had Gonzalez. I mean, it basically Vince set him up for failure as far as having a good match, even though he set him up for success as far as wins.
I mean, I'll give you that. Like Vince definitely set him up for failure and he made the best out of it for sure. Like he somehow still came out of there as the phenom and still came out of there. Like Andy said, like that streak's still alive and everybody's looking forward to it every year. But guys, Shawn Michaels is the showstopper, the headliner, the main event for a reason. There's a reason that during the Undertaker's streak, because it was alive, when Shawn Michaels was given the nickname Mr. WrestleMania, there's a reason that was not given to the Undertaker, who had this infamous streak. It was given to the best in-ring performer of all time, who night in and night out, every year at WrestleMania, was going to deliver the best match on the card. And I dare you go look at a WrestleMania that these two guys are on and tell me that Taker's match is better than Shawn's. Dare you.
So I dare you to go out into public and begin talking to people and say, okay, so whenever you think of WrestleMania, who is it you think of?
Probably going to say like Hulk Hogan or somebody like that.
Most of your people, I guarantee, if you took it all into account, they're going to say Undertaker, because for so many years, man, the whole reason for WrestleMania, it seemed, was to see if Taker was going to win or lose. And really, it came down to, okay, who's he going to beat? And then the shock came whenever he got beat by Brock. I'm just saying.
I mean, I agree. Go ahead, Andy. I mean, I agree. It's a huge part of WrestleMania.
And when I think of WrestleMania and I think of the pageantry that is WrestleMania, the first name that comes to my mind is Taker, because you get the entrance, you get the moment, you get just the feeling of even when he came out for the Hall of Fame when we were there at WrestleMania 38, it felt different than everybody else that was out there, because it was Taker, not even in gimmick, out there, and it still felt ridiculous. Like, it still felt amazing to see him out there. So I lean more towards Taker based off of the streak. I think the streak plays a massive part into this. But I think there's just an aura and a respect that comes with WrestleMania, and nobody gets that more than Taker. So much so that when Edge was like picked to beat him, Edge said, "Nope, I'm not going to be the one to beat Taker at WrestleMania. Like, that streak is too important. He is too important to WrestleMania. I'm not beating the streak." And that's like, I think that just shows how important he was and still is to WrestleMania. Because even after the streak has been beaten, last year, you look at it. Did he make a lot of sense showing up to that match at WrestleMania? Not really, but when the gong hit and the lights came up and he was in there, the place went nuts. So I think there's just something different about Taker at WrestleMania.
So what I'm going to say is I'm going to pose this question to Chris. Do you remember when we went to WrestleMania?
34.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Do you remember how it felt when the lights went off?
Yep.
Bong. We both went.
Yep.
And we've talked about it ever since, dude. Have you ever felt another feeling like that at a wrestling show? Any wrestling show, ever?
I would say the closest thing was the glass shattering in Dallas at WrestleMania 38 when Steve Austin came out. Having said that, I will reserve my judgment that I never saw Shawn Michaels wrestle at a WrestleMania, because the first WrestleMania that I saw was 34. So, having said that, yes, I completely agree. Guys, The Undertaker is absolutely in my top 5, if not on my Mount Rushmore of wrestling. So, this is a difficult argument for me to have. But I don't think Taker's run from 23 to 29 is what it is without Shawn Michaels. And to me, that solidifies him. Because I think you guys are hitting an excellent point when you say that the aura of WrestleMania and the aura of the Undertaker, it fits together. I completely agree with that. I just think that the guy that they depended on to steal the show and make people's jaws drop at WrestleMania was the best in-ring performer of all time, the man they needed to deliver in the ring, and that's Shawn Michaels. They needed go ahead.
See this, I'm wading through all this sea of to me's. And I mean, to me, I think that if we were talking Mr. Wrestling, Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania, The Undertaker.
Okay. Andy, any final words here?
I like what Jared just said, because yes, wrestling is probably one of the most important aspects of wrestling, especially WrestleMania. But sports entertainment and the whole package, every year, whether it was good, whether it was bad, even after the streak, Taker is above everyone else.
I'm just going to say that Shawn is. I'll end this. Okay. You guys, two against one. I'll let you have this victory. I'll say this. Shawn paved the way for the Undertaker to do what he did at WrestleMania. Because yes, the Undertaker came out in a carriage with a vulture when he faced Giant at WrestleMania 9. Shawn was in the opening match that night. Taker was not on WrestleMania 11. Shawn had the match of a lifetime against Razor Ramon in a situation that nobody had ever seen before. WrestleMania 11, Taker wrestled King Kong Bundy. Shawn wrestled Diesel. Completely turned his entire trajectory of his career around. So all I'm saying is Shawn had these matches, and then at 19 and 20 and what have you, apparently we can't talk about WrestleMania 20, but one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time included Shawn Michaels. I just think that Shawn paved the way for the Undertaker. Like, Shawn took care of the wrestling so that Taker could be the entertainment. And I think there's a place for both. I really do. But I think, Jared, I agree with your point. Mr. Wrestling, Shawn. Mr. WrestleMania, maybe you hand that over to the Undertaker. I think you can make the argument either way, which is why we're making the argument here tonight. All right. Let's wrap this up, guys. It's WrestleMania week. We got a whole lot of stuff to get to. We're talking Hall of Fame this week. We're fantasy booking our ultimate WrestleMania card. We're giving our predictions. And then, of course, we're going to be live right after WrestleMania night 1 and 2 right here on the YouTube channel. Jared, it's going to be an incredible week, capped off with the show of shows.
Dude, I can't wait. I mean, I went back and forth as far as how excited I am, but the bottom line is I'm excited. And my excitement is the highest that it's been right now for WrestleMania after watching Raw tonight. And I truly think that after Friday night, we are going to really be excited somehow, some way, for the real main event, which is involving Cody Rhodes. And I cannot wait. John Cena, I hope he can still keep up with Cody, but it's going to be awesome.
Andy, they got a lot of high hopes for Friday night.
Yeah, they do, which is the benefit and the deterrent when it comes to part-time and only being there a certain amount of dates and everything else. When you're there, you better be on the top of your game and building it the best you can. And so far, every time Cena showed up, they have done it. But all of that led to Friday night. So Friday night is like the most important part of selling WrestleMania. And I'm like Jared, I'm the most excited I've been for WrestleMania this year right now. And it's great to be excited for the biggest show of the year and know even if it doesn't meet my expectations, it's still going to be awesome. And I'm looking forward to that.
Speaking of glass shattering, I think it's happening, boys, this weekend.
One
more time.
bold prediction. What a bold prediction as we sign off. Listen, that should give you the want to, I guess, the desire to subscribe to this channel. Stay locked in right here. We're going to give you more bold predictions later this week as we pick the entire WrestleMania card and so much more. For Jared Justice and Andy York, my name is Chris Belcher. This has been arguably the go-home edition of Squared Circle Radio ahead of WrestleMania this weekend, but keep it locked in right here all week. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.